All right, we are live on the Coach Eli television network. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight. If you're here watching live, it's a Monday. It is Monday, November 22nd, 2021. But if you're here watching the replay, tremendous replay value because all of these streams have tremendous replay value. You can learn now or in the future because this is evergreen type of content that's going to teach you a thing or two about this crazy modern dating world we are all living in nowadays. Before we get to tonight's show with more crazy dating stories, Volume 3, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it absolutely has. And let me make sure that all three platforms are rolling smoothly behind the scenes. YouTube is rolling well. Facebook keeps changing their back end. And wow, they've got this big preview window now. Holy Moses. And Facebook now is broadcasting in 1080p, which is great. So that's awesome. You get high quality on Facebook as well. And what is going on with DLive? What is going on with DLive? Why is DLive not working? This is interesting. This is why I'm glad that I checked. Oh, I just refreshed and now it's working. Okay, we are rolling smoothly. Let's get right to it, folks. Tonight, we are doing Crazy Dating Stories, Volume 3. I've got 5 Reddit postings that I'm going to be going over. Before I get to that, let me switch on over to the browser screen. And let me just make you folks quickly aware of something I started a few months ago or so. I started the Genuine Emotional Support Group for both men and women. I'm not going to go over the entire spiel here like I had in the past. I will just say, hey, if you're looking for that emotional support that you're not getting from anyone, whether you're a man or a woman, please join my new subreddit at www.reddit.com/r/real emotional support. You can ask any questions there, and I'd be happy to respond to you within 24 hours. You can also make topic suggestions for future streams or videos there as well. The only thing we don't allow, no trolls, no hate, no attacking. That's about it. So one more time, the Genuine Emotional Support Group for both men and women. I'm running that group. I'd be happy to help you get any aspects of your life back on track, whether they are at a business or personal level. Once again, www.reddit.com/r/real emotional support. I'm going to quickly take that link and share it in the YouTube chat and also share it within the Facebook chat. And it is already shared on the live. The link to this is also in the description section below. If you're here watching the replay on YouTube or on Facebook, there is no replay on the live. So if you want to watch replays of these shows down the road, just come over to my YouTube channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, or youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. All right, with that being said, let's get right to the very first of 5 subreddit postings. I'm going to go over the first 2 or 3 during the first half of the show, take a quick break in the middle, and then come back and share the last 2 or 3, however many are left, based on how many I can get through during the first part of the show. And my ladies watching me live, and this is when you know you have a good one. She's like, baby, you look amazing tonight. Well, thank you. Ma'am, I bet you look amazing as well, no matter what you say. You're highly critical of yourself, ma'am, but aren't all women, because they just want to be the best they can be. And you are amazing, ma'am. So thank you so much for being here tonight. let's get right to it. Yes, switch back over. All right, this is from the subreddit dating_advice. And the original poster states, men, if you could, what would you change about the modern dating world? Women, if you could, what would you change? Now, isn't that the multi-billion-dollar question there, isn't it? Yeah, I saw this come up on my feed 14 hours ago, and I'm like, I got to do a show tonight. Plus, I saw so many great postings today. I just had to do a live show that I haven't done in a while and share my thoughts regarding this. So let's go below and read. What did the people write? Let's see what they said. It would be nice if people were open with their intentions. Well, yes, that is true. That is why if you're using swipe left or swipe right apps, which I don't recommend, I recommend using like non-swipe left and swipe right dating apps such as Match.com or eHarmony, and there's probably a few others out there that are still left. Then it wouldn't be as superficial because the swipe left and swipe right apps are about physical attraction 100%. And while physical attraction has to be there before anything else even matters, it's not the only thing that matters. And so, when you're on a swipe left or swipe right app, those apps typically don't have enough space to share information about you. You're limited to what you can write. So it's up to each and every one of you, men and women, when you're initially connecting with people to ask questions, through the app. And then if it goes well, trade numbers, have a phone conversation. If that phone conversation goes well, then meet in person to see if there's physical chemistry and then just go from there, right? The problem is you go on these dating apps, right? When I was single, before I met this lady, I was on Hinge, I was on, Bumble, Match.com, and, women would connect with me on Bumble and Hinge, and they would just say, "Hi, how are you, Eli?" Just stuff like that, right? Okay, great. Hi, how are you? Good. Hey, it's nice to connect with you here. What is it that you're seeking on Bumble or Hinge? I would ask that, but a lot of you are not asking that. You're just like, oh, it's a hot chick talking with me. She said hi, so she's enamored by me. No, that's not the way it works. You got to engage that woman in conversation. And same with you ladies. See, a lot of ladies nowadays won't even take the time to approach you by saying more than just hi with 4 exclamation points. That doesn't mean anything. So how can you learn someone's intentions if you're not asking? You got to get to the point right away when you first connect with somebody and you ask them, what is their intention? Such as like I just said, hey, it's nice to connect with you here on Bumble, on Hinge, on Match. What is it that you're seeking on this platform? Even though they may kind of say it, they may say relationship in their profile, whether it's Match or Bumble or Hinge or wherever, you still need to ask them. Because if they truly are interested in getting to know you, they're going to reiterate what they already mentioned in their profile. You want to see how much effort is made in the communication. Because remember, everyone's talking to a bunch of people. So, if someone's not really focusing that much energy on you, it means that they're more interested in focusing their energy on someone else. So the way you find out, you ask them, what are they seeking? And as a man or a woman, you need to keep asking open-ended questions, right? You need to ask open-ended questions. I'm going to do a stream on that probably tomorrow. Open-ended versus closed-ended, questions, right? Because you got to keep the conversation going, right? And you want to stand out amongst all the other people that are just saying hi. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? What's up? Oh, not much. What's up with you, right? Where's that going to get you? You got to engage in actual open-ended type of conversation. People need to know their intentions first. Well, that's true. You're just reinstating what the top person said. I've learned the lesson recently that just because someone's into me doesn't mean they really know what they want either. That is true. That's why you have to ask. Nowadays, these young kids are afraid to ask, what is it that you're seeking on Match, on Bumble, on Hinge, on OkCupid, on Plenty of Fish, on eHarmony? I was going to say on Tinder, but everyone knows Tinder is just for hookups, and only the top tier, extremely beautiful men and women get some action there, and it's not even for a relationship. But you got to ask, what is it that you're seeking on the platform? Get to the point right away. Because if they're interested, they'll respond, they'll tell you, and they'll keep talking with you. If they don't respond to you fairly quickly or within a half a day or a day, then they're not interested. Maybe they're not really that attracted to you. Maybe you were the most attractive person that came around, according to your pictures, at the moment they responded, and then someone else popped into their feed they connected with, and they perceived to be more attractive. Don't focus too much time and energy on one person. Focus on people that are going to keep engaging with you back and forth, and then get into the phone as quickly as possible by trading numbers. Do not talk through these apps. All these apps have video and phone calling services. They want to keep you on the apps as long as possible. Guys, seriously, ask for women's numbers, and if they say, well, can we talk through the app? I'm not interested in exchanging numbers. I'd say, well, I'm not really interested in staying on this app. I'm really looking to get to know someone. I want to get off the app. If you don't feel comfortable, sending me your number, I'll wish you the best, right? Right? Because if someone's really into you, they're going to give you their phone number. That's a test. I'm giving you guys the secrets, guys and gals the secrets, right? I don't know. I guess I always thought of this dilemma from my own perspective, but never considered what it meant if it was happening with the other person involved. That's because you kids are young and inexperienced in your late teens and early 20s. That's why I do what I do. I'll never run out of content. Oh, man. Gary, how you doing? Welcome to the show, Gary. Nice to see you here on an in-studio stream, man. How's your night going? Great to see you. Okay. Yeah, I find it more realistic to assume the average person is failing to deal with present reality and communicating such rather than is some min-maxing evil sociopath that perfectly understands it and is out to get you. The majority of the cultural warriors posting these topics have the latter world view. To the Quiet Star person that posted this, that was just written in ways where most people would not be able to really comprehend what you're saying. Like, it's overly nerdy, bro. I can tell by the way you wrote this, dude, you don't get a lot of attention from women, and you don't know how to talk with women. Dude, I'm not even going to respond to that. It's just, that was just ridiculous. Waste of time. Talking to a girl on online dating. So what do you want from me? Well, if you get a woman that says, what do you want from me, I wouldn't even respond. I would block her immediately because that's a shitty attitude. Me, I don't know. I literally just matched with you 10 seconds ago. What do you mean you don't know? You're either there for one of two things. You're there to find someone to date that could possibly lead to a relationship, or you're looking to get laid, a hookup. Me, I don't know. I literally just matched with you 10 seconds ago. I don't know what I want. That's why you guys aren't getting anywhere, because you don't know what you want before you go on the damn site. Not a real conversation, but the general sense of how it goes every time, because you folks, you're not communicating. The girl says, so what do you want from me? And you're like, I don't know. I literally just matched with you 10 seconds ago. Well, first of all, like I said, never respond to a woman or a man that's rude to you from the get-go. But if they get back to you and they're polite, they say, hey, Jack, Rick, John, it is great to meet you here. What is it that you're seeking on this app or this dating site? Well, Myra or Michelle or Jackie or Jill, whatever, I'm looking to get to know someone that likes outdoor activities such as hiking, nice dinners, and if it leads to a long-term relationship, that would be ideal. What about yourself? That's all you do. That's it. These people nowadays don't even know how to communicate, and that is part of the problem. That's the most major problem. Lack of communication. But is she asking what you're looking for? Dating, casual, long-term? I just said that. Big round of applause. I just said the same thing. That's the problem with most of you. Most of you are not even asking, hey, what is it you're seeking out here? It's nice to connect with you. Be nice and friendly. God, men and women don't bite. Right? Everyone's so afraid to ask, what is it you're seeking? Because they feel it's going to come off needy. No, that's not being needy. That's being smart. So you don't waste your damn time. Gary says, not bad, Eli. Just listening between flights off to Tampa. That's nice to hear, Gary. Enjoy your travels. Be safe. If I don't hear from you by this Thursday, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. 6 more replies. Let's see what's going on there. But I don't know you, so how do I know what category you'll fall in? You ask! Why don't you ask some questions? What are you folks, mind readers nowadays? Well, if you were, you'd probably, get further ahead. But no one's a mind reader, so you have to ask. So how do I know what category you'll fall in? Have a real conversation, get to know the person. God. I think I'm general. I've always assumed that I'm dating everyone has a purpose for whatever. I think your grammar is horrible here. I'm reading it the way you wrote it. I guess I look for short-term casual for a few years, but now my goals have changed as I'm older and have more time, so I've started looking for more. Is that a bad assumption? Here's the problem, what I've noticed with a lot of the young kids, especially college kids in their 20s. They think they have no time for relationships, so they hook up, right? Women ride the carousel, during college, and, men are just being men and just, hooking up with lots of different women, right? A lot of these kids are not committing nowadays in college because they think they don't have the time. That's the furthest thing from the truth. If you really want to make the time in between your studies, okay, you can meet somebody in college and, start a relationship, and they're going to understand because they're in college too. You spend whatever free time you have together, right? Maybe some weekends, maybe even study together at times, right? Who knows, right? But that's part of the problem there is that, a lot of people when they're younger, because now that men and women are both going to college and they're, working nowadays, right? It just seems like there's no time. There is time. There is time if you make the time, right? If you really want something, you can find the time for it. Like you said, but now my goals have changed as I'm older and have more time, so I've started looking for more. Is that a bad assumption? Why would that even be an assumption? That's how you feel. That's actually a good thing, man. Maybe you wanted something more real in the past. But you said that you were more busy, right? You were busier, right? And maybe the women were saying they were busy, but the truth of the matter is women are only busy when they're not into you. If a woman's really into you, it doesn't matter how busy she is. She will fit you in. She will move mountains, brother, to fit you in. I don't think so. I'm at the stage where I definitely want long-term, but that doesn't mean that everyone I meet is long-term material. That's true. Very few people are, right? So that's why when you're talking with women online, if they message you, you get to the point. Ask them, what are they seeking on the app? See how they respond. If it's positive, they may ask you what you're seeking. Oh, I'm seeking the same thing. I'd love to get to know you on a more personal level. If you'd like to send me your number, I'll text you to arrange a call. I'd love to talk to you by phone. If that goes well, maybe we can meet in person and see where it goes. Get to the point. one of two things will happen. The woman will give you her number, you'll talk, you'll meet, it'll go well. Or she'll say, I don't give my number out right away, or I only talk through the app. If she gives you any BS, or on the flip side for women, guys give you BS, just move on to somebody else, right? Now, if you get the number, you have a conversation, the phone call may not go well. You might, hear each other's voices and not like each other's voices. You might not like what each other enjoys. But let's say you like each other's voices and you like what each other does. Then, as the guy, you set up the date, meet the woman briefly, 30 to 60 minutes, typically more so in the evening, maybe at the park or in some public place where, you have at least some privacy, to let the natural flow of progression take things where they're meant to go. You want to meet in person to see if that physical chemistry is there. And if it's there and you make out or you feel it for each other, then the second date, you set something up a little bit more, I wouldn't say overly extravagant, but a little more lavish. And set it up in a way where maybe you take a nice hike, then you go to dinner, and then maybe you bring her back to your place, or maybe you get a room for the night, right? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But would you want to go into a situation with someone only looking for casual? No. But it's up to each individual to make that decision. Most people want something sustainable, right? I think the people that settle for something casual or only end up being something casual, it's because they're not in the best place for a long-term committed relationship, whether it be financially, emotionally, spiritually, or other aspects, right? So typically, the people that settle for something casual are not completely ready because they're lacking something that they haven't, they haven't reached that level yet, right? Especially you young guys. Maybe you aren't at the level in your career that you want to be, right? Maybe you aren't making enough money to date somebody regularly, right? Okay. Maybe you're a little bit overweight and you're insecure about it, right? You want to take care of that. And there are women out there that, are open to being casual with certain guys that they typically would not date long term. So there are women that want long term, but in the meantime, will hook up temporarily with a guy that's not really their type, as long as he's, an easygoing guy to be around, right? So that's why the casual thing happens. What if you get feelings for them and they don't change their mind? I think I'd be really hurt. Here's the thing. Anything that happens casually, regardless of what any man or woman thinks, even if something is casual, there's always going to be some feelings involved. Men and women don't sleep together unless there's some type of emotional rush or feeling of the attraction. And remember, it's a feeling of attraction, right? And what is a feeling of attraction? It's an emotion, right? So even something casual is going to have emotions to a certain level. It's just going to be emotions that are going to be cut off before the I love yous come out or the commitment comes out, right? That's all it is. But if I could avoid it by not dating people who don't want what I want, I would probably choose to avoid it, unless that person seems really, really special anyways, which to your point, I probably don't know if they're special like that and wouldn't know until at soonest when I meet them. When I met them in real life, most likely. Okay. All right. Not bad, Eli. Just listening between flights off to Tampa. Okay, I already read that. All right. That was Gary from earlier. Give me just a second here. All right, looks like we're good. Looks like we're real good. Okay. I've just come to the conclusion that I can't protect myself from hurt. Of course you can, but you should go into it with an open mind. See, you guys are so young and you're inexperienced, and you're not realizing that most women you come across in your life, the same thing for women, most men you come across in your life, it's not going to work out, right? So you have to get used to and build up a tolerance for people coming in and out of your life. Now, you eventually are going to find the right person that you want to be with. That's the whole point. But along the way, you're going to have lots of disappointments, and you just have to learn to expect it, right? And you can't expect things to always work out. You can't expect really anything when you're dating somebody. You just have to let the flow happen. Go with the flow. And if it continues going, that's great. If it ends one day, even 5 or 10 years down the road, it sucks. And it's going to hurt the longer you're with that person. But when you get to the point of where I'm at, 47, almost 48, and you've been hurt a few times, quite a few times, it doesn't hurt that bad anymore. You begin to really understand that life isn't fair, and whatever's meant to be is meant to be. And if someone's not meant to be with you anymore, you let them go so they can find someone that's a better fit for them. And that'll open up the space for you to find a better fit for yourself. If I meet someone I like, I ask them out and figure it out as I go along. That's what you're supposed to do. Natural flow progression. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. You figure it out as you go along. The woman I'm with right now can tell you there are things about her I did not expect before I met her. And there have been some interesting situations. They're not bad, but they were just unexpected. That there are interesting things that have happened, right? But you just take it one day at a time, right? You go with the flow. And if you really have a connection with someone like we do, you find ways to make it work. You find ways to keep moving forward, right? I really like what this guy just said. That was good, bro. That was really good. I don't think we know anything until it clicks. And I'm not brave enough to assume that most of us know what we really want all the time. Well, that's not only part of the problem, that's the entire problem. If you don't know what you want and you put yourself on a dating site as a man, you're going to come off as indecisive to women, which is not masculine energy. That's feminine energy. No disrespect, ladies. My woman will probably agree. Women are very indecisive. A lot of times they have so many options they don't know what to do. That's why they struggle in the dating world with all the options. They don't know what to do. That's normal, natural female nature, right? That's why they look up to us guys for our strength to put that all together and help them through it and be their strength, be their rock. Yeah, she just messaged me from behind the scenes with some very kind words. Let's just put it that way. Let's put it that way. It's all good. It's all good. At least she likes my purpose. You have to have a woman in your life that likes your purpose. This one really likes what I do. That's another big reason why it works, because she supports what I do. And I really appreciate that. Thank you. Are you watching on your TV, ma'am? Is it crystal clear? 1080p, 60 frames per second? Oh, man. Give me a second here. All right. We are at 29 minutes. Let me read one more here. Then I'm going to go through one more of these Reddit stories and do the last three after the break. 4 more replies. It's almost like the go-to statement to break the ice, but please come up with something that makes me want to reply. Right! Right! So, like I said, a lot of women in the past would approach me and say, "Hi," with 4 exclamation points. "How are you?" "I'm good, how are you?" Nice to connect with you here is what I say. Nice to connect with you. How are you? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. What are you seeking out here on Bumble, on Hinge, on Match.com, wherever, right? This guy, again, is hitting the nail on the head. It's almost like the go-to statement to break the ice, but please come up with something that makes me want to reply. Right. I don't know. It kind of looks like a female avatar, but it could be a guy. I can never tell if it's a male or a female. But it sounds like a female would write that, because most guys wouldn't understand that at the level that I do, especially the guys in this forum. Wait, that's a common statement, let alone a break the ice statement? You don't understand. You see, this is the funny thing. These icebreakers, such as hi, such as what's up, what's cracking, stupid stuff like that, right? Those are people that are playing games or don't know what they want or are just seeking attention and validation. If you want to connect with somebody that is ready for a genuine relationship, it's all about how they approach you. Their first approach will be, hey, for example, for me in the past, it would be like, hey, Eli, thanks for your message. I read your profile and I completely agree with everything you're saying. I really like what you wrote. You really seem to know what you want, and I know what I want to. I would love to continue talking with you and get to know you better. Where do you think we should go from here? Now, someone will just give their number at that point, right? But if they don't, if they say, where do you think we should go from here? At that point, I'd come in and say, wow, well, thank you for the very well-written response and taking the time to write it. I appreciate that. I'd love to get to know you too. How about you send me your number and I'll text you to arrange a phone call so we can talk on the phone, get to know each other better. And if that goes well, then we can meet in person and see where it goes shortly after that. That's it. It's as simple as that. But you guys and gals complicate it, right? You complicate it because you fear rejection. Dating is easier nowadays because you don't even have to ask women out in person and get rejected. You're getting rejected digitally. So what? They reject you, they ghost you, they block you, you block them, you go on to someone else. Not a big deal. Dating is so much easier nowadays, but you guys make it more difficult because you don't know how to communicate. That's the bottom line. The woman behind the scenes says, yes, sir. All right. I have been asked by the third message after a hey and what's up. So I guess it's my own fault if I reply to those first two. Right. Hey and what's up are statements by immature, insecure guys that are trying to get laid. The thing that these guys don't realize, that the alphas realize, if you're trying to get laid, you still have to treat a lady like a lady. Okay? You got to know how to communicate with a lady, and even the alpha chads, they know how to communicate. They're smooth as hell, right? Were they possibly escorts or something? LOL. Oh, come on. Let me read one more here before we get to the next posting. Haha. I agree with this. I'm a female and date guys, and yes, I've been hurt many times by men. When I post, people assume the guy is evil and always intended to lead me on or never love me. I don't think that's the case. A guy can like you and be a horrible communicator. Well, that's an important quality I've been talking about throughout this entire posting here. That's the problem. The problem is you young folks nowadays don't know how to communicate. You have a lack of communication, right? Look at what this woman wrote. Let me read it again. I don't think that's the case. About a guy leading her on. Okay? A guy can like you and be a horrible communicator. Well, ma'am, why would you want to date a horrible communicator that can't communicate his thoughts and feelings when necessary to you? Most men struggle with present reality because dating norms from our past are being changed. Well, you hit the nail on the head, man. Big round of applause. Yeah, you have these guys nowadays that are being raised by feminized fathers and masculine mothers. So when you meet them, they're acting like women and you're acting like men, right? You ladies are more outgoing and assertive than they are because that's what the women's movement has done. Now, granted, it did great for women to give them equal rights, but on the flip side, it's also made men, especially our younger men, that were born and raised during this time when women were first in power 55 years ago, it's made them more feminized, right? So guys are, in essence, acting like women, and women are acting like men, right? So guys are coming off a little bit more shy and stuff, and women are coming out and being vocal and being communicative, right? And being direct. Look at this woman here. She's like, when I post, people assume the guy is evil and always intended to lead me on or never love me. I don't think that's the case. A guy can like you and be a horrible communicator. Most men struggle with present reality because dating norms from our past are being changed. We also have a bunch of other issues living in a capitalistic society. That has nothing to do with dating. A capitalistic society has nothing to do with dating. That's completely different. Most men don't have intentions to hurt women, but due to past traumas, getting triggered, end up hurting women indirectly. It is because of the way they were raised, ma'am. I know many guys out here on YouTube where the mother was wearing the pants in their relationship. And, the father was more feminized. And I know guys, that were living in a household where the father was watching the mother have relations with many other men that would come into the house like a revolving door. How do you expect those guys to turn out, right? How do you expect those guys to turn out? Yeah, that's what's happening. And I do these shows because I really want to help turn these guys around. I really want to help as many of our modern men, whether they're younger or older, because some older guys still don't get it. I want to help you guys out so that way you can become men again. And then women will respect you and you can have amazing, lasting relationships, right? All right. We are at 37 minutes. Let's go over to the next subreddit, which is from the subreddit dating. This one's a good one. The original poster writes, let's scroll up a little bit there. Having your shit together, keeping your place clean and organized is an important component of feeling attractive. Amen, brother. I'm going to give you a big round of applause just for your title, bro. Let's read that one more time. Having your shit together, keeping your place clean and organized is an important component of feeling attractive. He's given advice, and it's good advice. Let's read it. One of the biggest components of feeling confident and high value is being organized in your home. Even for you guys, I keep my place clean. I keep my car clean. My woman I'm with, she's like, wow, your car is so clean. It's even cleaner than mine, which is unusual because women are typically cleaner than men, right? Okay. But yeah, women really like that. When you're a guy, you keep your place clean. You take care of yourself. You're healthy. You're fit. You wear nice clothes. You smell nice, right? If you live in a great environment, women are going to love that because most guys are not good at taking care of themselves or keeping their environment clean. You want to stand out amongst most women? Just do this, what's said here. Having your personal space in constant disarray reinforces an immature and inadequate frame of energy. Right. And, I've always been clean for the most part, most of my life, but in my younger days, there were some years where I kind of let things slip, and I'll never, ever, ever slip back again. Being organized won't compensate for poor social skills or sloppy personal appearance, but it sets a baseline of independent, attractive behavior that translates into other areas of life. That's true. So what he's saying here is that just because you may have the cleanest place of any man on the planet or the cleanest car of any man doesn't mean that you can, lack at the other aspects, of socializing, or, having bad appearance or being out of shape, and then women will still accept you. No, this is just one other aspect. There are a lot of aspects that make you attractive to women and people in general. And you should be taking care of yourself at that level anyway, right? You should do it for yourself, and then the rest will just follow. Let's see here. Where did we leave off there? More importantly, the mental health benefits of being organized and having ownership of your life can't be understated. You're right. When you're in a clean environment, right, everything else just works better. When you're clean, your place is clean. There's no dust. It's just a cleaner and healthier environment to live in. And it also, makes you even feel better, right? So not only is it healthier, from a medical standpoint, right? Healthier for, for breathing the air in and stuff like that. It's also healthier mentally and emotionally, because when you have a clean place you walk into, you just feel better about yourself. That puts you in that better mental and emotional state and keeps you there. This doesn't mean you have to live in an immaculate surrounding. There are some people that will overdo it because they're very OCD about things, and I can get that way, at times. But I've gotten better. But I am a very clean person, so it's not saying you have to be like one speck of dust and then you wipe it down. But keep your place as clean as possible. There are some simple activities that will provide a sense of organization and improve the energy in your place. Outback Andy Foster's in the house. How you doing, Outback? Hello there, good sir. Watching from American Classics Creamery, serving up the Bay Area's favorite ice cream, Lord's Ice Cream. That's awesome, bro. I got to get there with my lady. My lady's watching right now, but she's not going to comment because we don't want the trolls finding out about her. Excuse me a second. That sip of coffee went down the wrong pipe because I was so excited that Outback Andy Foster is in the house. All right, let's continue here. Give me a second here. There are some simple activities that will provide a sense of organization and improve the energy in your place. Make your bed first thing in the morning. Sure. If you currently aren't in the bed making camp, I highly encourage you to try it for a week. Even if the rest of your place is somewhat disorganized, a made bed still provides a sense of order amid the chaos. The few minutes you spend making your bed can be one of the best investments of time you make throughout your day. Absolutely. I make my bed every day, and it's something that, I look forward to sleeping in, right? When your bed is made, you can just fold back the covers and the sheets, slide on in, and get to sleep. When your bed's not made, number one, it just doesn't look nice. Number two, when you try to get into bed, the next night, you're going to be trying to, adjust your sheets. And if you're really super tired, like most of us are by the time we go to bed, it's going to be much easier to just slide into a made bed. Let's see here. The few minutes you spend making your bed can be one of the best investments of time you make throughout your day. I think I read that. Clean your toilets every other day. I keep mine clean every day, and I even use some Vanish toilet bowl, automatic toilet bowl cleaners, right? Now, even when you use those, you still need to, scrub your toilet, with a sponge, at least I'd say once a week because stuff builds up, right? And depending on what you eat, some food is stickier than others, and they can stick on the toilet. Yeah, keep your toilet clean. Trust me, guys. If you have a super clean toilet and your lady comes over and sees that, and then you use like some automatic toilet bowl cleaner, like I use Vanish. If your toilet bowl is clean and then the water is blue and your lady sees that, wow, this guy really takes care of his place. Even his toilet is immaculate. My toilet, you can see your face in my toilet. That's how clean it is. Now, when I was much younger, I wasn't like this, but as I've gotten older, I just take care of everything. Let's see. This can be a tedious and sometimes unpleasant task, but it doesn't take a large amount of time to spray in cleaner, scrub with a brush, and wipe underneath the seat with a Clorox wipe. It is also a gigantic turnoff if you have someone over and there are bits of dookie stuck to the side of your toilet bowl. Right. I've had many friends, I'll go to their place, and there's brown crust around the rim of the toilet, right? We all know what that is, right? And it's nasty. It's just nasty. I would never, ever, ever, ever put any one of my friends or family members or anyone I care for through that if they were at my place. My toilet is always freaking clean. Always clean. Let's see here. Don't let dishes and laundry pile up. That's true. Have a hamper. What I do is, I wear my clothes one time and then I put them in the hamper. Never wear the same clothes twice. Never wear the same clothes twice. Okay? Once you're done wearing them that day, throw them in the hamper. Right? Now, if you're wearing pajamas and stuff, you can wear those a little bit longer because you're just wearing them at night and you're not sweating. You may want to take a shower before you go to bed. It's up to you. I typically will shower in the morning, but never wear the same clothes twice. Put them in a hamper. When the hamper gets full, do a load of laundry. Now, don't do a load of laundry until the hamper is full because you want your loads and laundry to be efficient. So you want to load up the washer to its max, and then, you want to dry your clothes efficiently too. You want to do full loads at a time. And don't let your dishes pile up. My advice is do this, is that, after every meal that you have or you have friends over, okay, all of your dishes are going to be in the sink. Take those dishes, rinse off the excess through your garbage disposal. We all have them nowadays. And then put the dishes immediately into the dishwasher, right? But don't run the dishwasher until the dishwasher is full, once again, for efficiency. But at least you're going to get the dishes and cups and utensils and all that out of the sink from piling up, right? And you're going to have them in the dishwasher ready to run it once it gets full. There are a lot of things you guys and gals can both do, but more so for the guys to keep your place cleaner. Let's see. I loathe folding laundry, but I find myself getting caught behind sometimes if it gets neglected, and they can contribute greatly to sense of disorganization in my place. Yeah, it takes time, but you got to do it. Wash, dry, and fold laundry the same day. Watch TV or listen to music so it's not as tedious. Right, you can have the TV on in the background. You can have your smartphone watching YouTube videos. That's what I do. Cleaning dishes completely after every meal, even if it's a pain in the ass. Like I just said, rinse them off and just put them in the dishwasher, but do not run the dishwasher until it's full. And if you don't have a dishwasher, then you are living in a prehistoric place that probably is not a fit place to live in. But if you don't have a dishwasher and you have a sink, then you're going to have to manually wash your dishes every night. That's what I would do. But most of them have a dishwasher, so it's easier to do it the other way I said it. Okay? So cleaning dishes completely after every meal, even if it's a pain in the ass. The kitchen is one of the focal points in the home. If the place, I think you meant to say it's the place, typo. It's the place where you prepare your food. If the kitchen is dirty and unorganized, it provides a sense of discomfort and general uncleanliness. I had a roommate in the past, my former best friend, that would get pissed off at me because I was so anal about keeping the entire place clean, but especially the kitchen. Right? He would let stuff pile up. Like if I were to go away for a day or two, everything would pile up in the sink. I'd have to come back, scrub it, and put it in the dishwasher. It's not that difficult. If you keep your place clean, basically you clean as you go, right? If you clean as you go, like this guy is saying, it's not going to pile up and be an excessive amount of work one time. Clean as you go. Put away your shirt. Don't let shoes or other articles of clothing or gym bags get strewn across your place. Well, okay, I think I know what you mean by that. I just never heard that word, strewn. Put them in a designated area. If you have a workspace or place for hobbies, organize in a way that is clean but allows you to be comfortable and creative. These are some great thoughts. We are at 51 minutes here. And let me read a few comments here before we go on the break. I don't make my bed, but I started doing small tasks ASAP instead of procrastinating. And it has definitely made an impact on my approach to tasks in general. Yeah, what you're doing is what I just said a second ago. You're cleaning as you go. So basically, instead of piling up the dishes in the in the sink, or letting your laundry overflow beyond your hamper. Now, some people have multiple hampers, right? But you can only do one load at a time. Typically, one hamper is one load, right? I would never, ever, ever let your clothes pile up more than one hamper. When you fill one hamper up, put that load in the washer, wash your clothes, and then dry your clothes, right? That's why I only need one hamper. I don't need more than one hamper, all right? Because I basically clean as I go. And when you clean as you go, which is what this person's trying to say here, things don't pile up, things stay cleaner, and everyone's happier, including yourself. You're in a better environment, and so are your guests. Great philosophy, it is. If it would take longer to write the task on your to-do list than to actually do it, just get it done immediately. Right. So if you have a couple of dishes that you just ate dinner with, and then you have to write down, okay, wash these 2 dishes tomorrow. By the time you write that down, you could have washed them by hand, or at least just rinse them off if you have a dishwasher and put them in a dishwasher. A minute, if that, maybe 2 minutes. Wow, thanks, Lick My Second. That's a funny name, Lick My Second. One more here. Absolutely. I notice time and time again that if things start getting too messy, dishes, bedding, toilets, laundry, my general mood and outlook decline. I'm the same way. I love being in a clean environment. And I love, for me, like when I go out to places, even like with my lady or places I've been to in the past, I like going to clean places that are in nice and safe areas. If a place is run down or, it's an area that feels unsafe, my mood is not as great. I'm a positive, happy person that, feels good based on my environment. And the cleaner and safer the environment, the better my attitude. And that's how it goes. That's what you're saying. Excellent. Right? It is a surefire way to pile on added stress, and no one needs that. I agree. So don't put yourself in that position. Clean as you go. Likewise, I found that being in someone else's home that is not looked after with those basic things mentioned earlier is overwhelming and takes far too much of my energy to try to fight the way it affects my mood. Excellent. Nice tips for organizing mindset. Right. With clear mind comes clear and organized thoughts. Thank you. Big round of applause before we take the break. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, folks, let me switch back to full screen here. And I'm going to cue up some royalty-free YouTube music, take a quick break, and then come back and go over the last 3 postings. We're going to kind of blitz right through them because I've got some things to do later tonight. My lady's still up. We're going to talk by phone. But let me go ahead and cue up that music. Let me see here. Let me see. All right, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for probably about a 8 to 10 minute break or so. But when we return, we have 3 more Reddit postings. One is from the subreddit OkCupid, and it's titled Stories from the First Few Dates. The next one is going to be from the subreddit Dating Over 30, and it's titled Would You Consider Settling? Great question. Great posting. And last but not least, we're going to wrap up the night from the subreddit Ask Men, and the title is How Would Your Wife/GF Feel About a Guy's Night Out? And we're going to tackle all that right after the break, so stick around! Stick around! Stick around, round. We'll be right back! yeah, we are back. We are back. We are back. Woo. Let's pump it up. Pump it up. Pump it up. Here we go. Some Ethan Mixel in the shadows. Let's do it, Ethan. Gotta get fired up for the second half of the show, right? Yeah. Gotta feel it. Gotta feel it. Gotta feel good. Feel it. Pump it up. Pump it up. Get those hands up. Yeah, baby. Yeah. 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 But unfortunately, we got to get back down to business, right? Got to get back down to business, right? All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live on the Coach Eli Television Network, primarily broadcasting live on YouTube at youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. We're also simulcasting live on Facebook and D Live. If you're on Facebook and D Live and you want to get a whole heck of a lot more than just these in-studio live stream simulcasts, if you want to get almost mobile daily live streams where you can ask me any questions live for free, if you also want to get pre-recorded videos at the highest quality, 4K 60 frames per second, that will help you at a business and personal level. Or if you want to become a channel member for even more, which is optional, you can join my channel memberships program on YouTube and get even more. You want to find out more? Come over to YouTube at youtube.com/Life Coach Eli, or just search for Coach Eli, Elias Melas. And make sure you find the channel has over 4K subscribers, because there are lots of clones of me out there. Make sure you don't subscribe to the clones and ignore all the stupid BS that people talk about, happy, positive people like myself, and you'll be all good. All right. Yeah. I'm ready for the second half of the show. Are you? I hope you all had a phenomenal weekend and you started off this brand new week on the most positive note possible. Now, I gotta say, a little friendly smack talk here. You know, some of my moderators behind the scenes were asking if I was gonna go live, particularly one person, we're not gonna mention his name. I think my lady behind the scenes even knows who I'm talking about, was asking if I was gonna go live tonight. And yeah, I told him I was gonna go live, and he's off in Never Neverland. That's okay. That's all good. No problem, man. You can catch the replay if you'd like. All right, folks, tonight we've been running another episode of Crazy Dating Stories. This is Crazy Dating Stories Volume 3. And without further ado, let's get back to it. Let's go ahead and switch back over to the browser screen and get to the last 3 postings. We're going to kind of blitz through these quickly here. This is from the subreddit OkCupid, a dating app and a dating site that is no longer good. It used to be good. I used to, meet women from OkCupid, and it was an okay place. Okay place. OkCupid was an okay place. It used to be an okay place to meet women. Now it's become like a weird hookup site, kind of like Plenty of Fish has, and I just don't recommend it. But they do have a subreddit, and people ask questions there. Let's see here. This is stories from the first few dates. This is from a lady that says confused lesbian. Okay. I do help gay and lesbian couples as well, because the principles are very similar as straight relationships, as heterosexual relationships, that is, to put it more professionally. Let's read the topic again. Stories from the first few dates. So I had a second date last night, and it went really, really well until I got super car sick and ended up throwing up on the side of the road in front of her. Well, you know what? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I could tell you some stories about what my current lady and I have been through, and she's watching right now live, and I'm still around. Why? Because she has a big heart and soul. She's a good woman. And as you get older, her and I are both in our mid-40s, maybe our late 40s. Shit happens, right? You have to have some tolerance for stuff like this, right? Thankfully, she wasn't put off and still wants to see me again. And then she put the crying out of laughter emoji, kind of like the one Queen Helen Casey, moderator of my channel, uses a lot. Anyway, anyone else have some interesting stories from the first couple of dates? Well, let's see. There's only 13 comments here, so let's try to get through them all. Once on the first date, the girl I was with accidentally started telling me a story of the time she shit her pants in public thinking it was a fart. That's great. And immediately got embarrassed. Yeah, they call that a shart, right? When you think it's going to come out as gas, but it's all, it's all liquid diarrhea waiting to come out. And then it just, you try to let it rip and then it just squirts out. Yeah. So I told her a story of when I had to intentionally pee my pants in public at night or risk my bladder exploding. We were laughing so hard with each other that it destroyed any first date awkwardness. That was over 3 years ago, and we got engaged a month ago. I'm going to give you a big round of applause, bro. You handled that one excellent, man. Dude, what a way to make your woman feel comfortable with the way you responded. It basically showed her that you're open to talking about anything and everything, and you accept her for who she is. And you accept the fact that just because she's a woman doesn't mean she doesn't shit on her pants every now and then, right? Or in her pants, right? I think everyone's done that a time or two, but they don't want to admit it, right? That was a nice story there. I bet my lady really liked that one. I hope you were both able to hold in all bodily functions until after the proposal photos. That's great. After my second date with my GF of several years now, I got a text that you should get tested, followed by a 30-minute pause for strep throat. Fun fact, it was positive. Oh my God. That's not something you want to mess with. That's not something you want to mess with. Telling people you should get tested. I should have told you. I had something, right? Come on. Terrifying but funny. Right. That's not something to joke about, but hey, I get it. I get it. This is from a 30-year-old gay male. This happened to a friend of mine on a date driving up a winding mountain path to a scenic view. No shame in bodily functions. Sometimes your body just isn't cooperating. It's true. It can happen to any of us at any time, right? Like, there are times where, I have gas on the hiking trails, right? And I'll even admit this right now. My lady's watching. I don't care. It is what it is. I'm a grown-ass man, right? I'm a very gassy person, right? And sometimes I'll stop on the hiking trail because if I keep walking, I'm going to rip one that's going to put a hole in the ground, right? And she's probably dying of laughter right now, right? And then she thinks there's something wrong with me. And I'm like, I just, need to stretch for a second, right? The truth of the matter is I'm trying to hold my butt cheeks closed so this big, huge, explosive, gas doesn't come out of my ass, right? This is hilarious. This is making me laugh tonight. This is good stuff. While trying to get a lid on my coffee, I tipped the entire cup over the counter, and we had to help the baristas clean as I apologized profusely. Some of the coffee got on us both, too. Okay, we ended up dating for a little while, but it didn't work out for other reasons. Okay, sometimes that happens. But you handled it maturely. That's great. It still remains pretty funny in my memory. All those first date jitters, and then within 5 minutes doing that. Right. Sometimes that's all it takes, right? And when you both see that you're human, right? When you're on a date and you both are trying to be on your best behavior and somebody farts or burps or something, as an accident, you can laugh about it. Now, I've gone on dates with women that burped every 5 minutes and I never saw them again. I think that's just really unladylike. And even if a man does that, in front of a woman, that's really, really like immature, right? If you're hanging out with the guys and having some fun, you're going to fart and belch. But when you're in front of a woman, you know, if you rip one on accident or burp on accident and she does that too on accident, that's fine. But if you're sitting there on a date and you're burping and farting all night back and forth, well, maybe, who knows? That might bring some people together, but it's just very off-putting and immature to me, right? I'll tell you about my first dance if that counts. Okay, I want to hear that. Well, I guess he didn't mention it. This person wrote a pretty long response. Well, it wasn't a school thing. It was at a summer camp I went to. That's T-O, not T-O-O. That's T-O-O is like too much. When you say you're going somewhere I went to, it's T-O. Or some reason, all the other kids my age wanted to have a dance. I didn't, but was too introverted. No, you spelled it the wrong way there too. I didn't, but I was too introverted. T-O. That should be T-O-O there, bro. You put T-O-O where it should have been T-O, and you put T-O where it should have been T-O-O. I didn't, but was too introverted to do anything. You got the two right there. The problem was there were only 7 other kids my age, so I couldn't really wallflower. I think wallflower is 2 words, without being really obvious. So everyone else paired up, leaving just me and one girl. Leaving one girl and myself. You always put other people first. Proper English. Clearly she wanted, I should have been a grammar school teacher, but I wouldn't get paid crap for it. Clearly she wanted to ask, clearly she wanted me to ask her to dance, but frankly I wanted to be anywhere else. I'm not sure how old I was, but looking back, I'm not sure why I didn't just leave. Anyway, eventually she asked me. Thus began the most awkward slow dancing of my life, arms length apart, just kind of orbiting each other. Whoever picked all slow songs really screwed me. Well, dude, if you wanted to be closer to the woman, just get closer to the woman. Well, I survived, but one more interesting thing happened. At the end of the camp, when our parents came to pick us up, the girl walked up to me and just handed me her bag like I was obligated to carry it. I did without saying anything, and I've never seen her since. Okay. All right. That was kind of a boring story, to be honest there. So I have nothing to say about that. I threw up on my friend's first date, and him and his date ended up going out for a whole year. A+ wingman right here. So you were a wingman on a first date that threw up on your friend's first date, and I don't know if you meant you threw up in front of them or you threw up on his date or on the first date between the both of them. That's what I think you meant. But hey, that's funny. Maybe you were drinking a lot. I suggest no drinking on the first date. And I really wouldn't drink that much, ever. I mean, if you're going to have some social drinks, that's great. But even on a first date, I wouldn't even have one social drink. You want you and the woman to be in the most natural state of mind, not influenced by anything, especially alcohol, to see if something is real, right? Hey, you let him come in and be there. You let him come in and be the hero, helping her clean up, being all sympathetic. Okay, cool. Let's see. Third date, we went to a Halloween-themed amusement park. Was this from somebody else up above? Was it? No. Just to run for our lives due to a shooter in the park. Wow. The date surprisingly showed each other our values in a way we wouldn't have done otherwise. I will make it, I think you meant to say I will make it short, but I think the details is what made the story. So I'll comment the long-winded story if someone has nothing better to do, since I have nothing better to do than to type it. I invite my date to go to a Halloween-themed Great America event, like in amusement parks where the workers chase you. There's haunted houses, rides, etc. We find out there is a shooter in the park. We run out and make it to safety after spending hours getting into the park and just to run out after 10 minutes of being inside. We find out it was never a shooter. Someone threw a lunch tray, and the boom made everyone think there was a shooter. Wow. Being in that situation showed me how calm and level-headed we both are in emergencies. I have idiot friends, and sometimes you need to give people the benefit of the doubt if the first impression isn't all that great. Yeah, in some cases that works. In other cases, it just wasn't meant to be after one date, or even after meeting for just a few minutes. I think they put the whole story there. Okay, that's going to do it for that one there. So those were just a few stories there from first dates. Let's go to the second to last posting from the subreddit Dating Over 30. Would you consider settling? And remember, this isn't a subreddit for people that are over 30. And remember, as women enter their 30s, their biological clock starts to tick. And if they want to have kids, they got to really get on the ball. So this is what this lady writes. I'm 31 female and never been married or had kids. I wasn't really ready until I hit my 30s. Well, ma'am, you and many other women that are busy writing the CC in college. The CC is the carousel. And you can all figure out what the first C is, right? So, ma'am, you were enjoying the carousel through your 20s and going to college and getting a degree that's probably not even going to be used in the career you're in. And now you're trying to BS yourself and BS us, saying that you wasn't really ready. Or you weren't, sorry. You weren't, I'm speaking Ebonics there. You weren't really ready until you hit my 30s. The common thing with many women nowadays, because of the social stigma we're all living in. And because other empowered women that you ladies listen to are saying, ladies, you need to go to college, get a degree, focus on your studies and your career, and you'll find love and have a relationship and have kids later, right? Okay. But they don't realize that as a woman hits their 30s, that, the biological clock is ticking, and a man that wants to have 2 or 3 or 4 kids with a woman would rather, start having kids with a woman that's in her 20s, right? And a lot of women are saying now, your 30s are your new 20s, right? No. Not from a biological standpoint. Biology has not changed. Maybe feminism and women's lib has changed women's rights and the way women do things nowadays, which is fine. But biology has not changed. The biological clock has not been extended into a woman's 50s, right? I've been dating a guy for 1.5 years, and we are at a point where it could become more serious or stay casual. I'm not in love with him, but he's great company and a great support during these COVID times. Well, ma'am, if you're not in love with him, then what are you doing with him? Is he a great lover? Are you cheating on him? Or is he just one of those guys that provides you emotional support unlike any other man, and you're just putting up with not being attracted to him, and maybe there's a financial benefit to you being with him? This is a common thing with women. This woman was probably riding the carousel with Chads and Tyrones in her 20s, trying to lock down the Chads and Tyrones, and then she had to settle for this guy that she says, I've been dating him for 1.5 years. I'm not in love with him, but he's great company and a great support during these COVID times. Right. He's convenient for you, ma'am. Right? See, you want a guy with his personality and his attitude, but you want him to look like the Chads and Tyrones. That's what the truth of the matter is. I live in another country very far from my family, other side of the world. He is very supportive and gives me comfort. Then why are you not in love with him? Why don't you like him? What is wrong? You're just probably not sexually attracted to him. Everything else sounds great, but you're probably not sexually attracted to him. He is reliable as a partner, stable, etc. Not perfect or who I imagine as my long-term partner. What you mean, ma'am, he's not hot enough for you physically. He sounds like a great guy, ma'am. You're basically describing a man that is willing to be that is a great provider, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. But physically, he's not your type. Because the guys you want physically won't give you everything else this guy's giving you. That's what's going on. With all the stress in the world right now, I just crave a partner to live with, share the rent and house duties, to have my back, so on. That's called settling, ma'am. But like you mentioned there, you're settling basically for a guy that you're not physically attracted to, that is probably at least somewhat of a beta mod, right? Ma'am, if you're not attracted to him physically, if you're not feeling it for him, if you're not in love with him, it means he's being a beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon. In other words, you're saying he's a very nice guy and does everything that I need him to do, right? But you don't respect him, man. That's what it sounds like to me. You don't respect him. I've waited my whole life and don't want to settle. However, I'm scared to let him go and keep doing this stressful period of life alone. You mean you hate to let the beta male go to go back to the Chads and Tyrones that you're more physically attracted to, but you know they won't settle with you or give you the rest this guy's giving you, man? You got to decide, man. You got to decide. That's the problem. This woman right here, to my lady behind the scenes, this is exactly what I've been talking with you almost every night when we talk about this stuff on the phone. Because you have a daughter that is not like this, but she's 26, and she's probably got some friends like this. Most women are like this. This is very, very common. That's why I'm sharing it. All right, let me just check out real quick here. All right, we are clear on Facebook and D Live. All right. Let's see. He recently agreed it could be good for us to move in together. No, dude, don't do that, brother. Oh, man. This woman right now knows exactly what she's doing. She even wrote it in her title. Would you consider settling? Man, you know this guy's a beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon, beta mon provider. Man, why don't you just come out and say, I'm considering settling down with a beta male provider? That's what you should have said, man. This woman knows exactly what she's doing. She knows the kind of guy she's with. She knows the kind of guy she's physically attracted to that she can't lock down. She wants the Chad. You want the Chad, man. You want to keep chasing the Chad, hoping the Chad will want to lock you down, man. You're gonna try to lock down the Chad or the Tyrone, and it's not gonna happen. And now you're debating at 31 with your biological with your biological clock ticking, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, if you should settle for the beta mon. Beta mon provider. This guy's a beta mon. And she knows it. She has no respect for this guy. How can this guy not see this? Because he's a beta mon. That's why. She's probably pretty cute, too. And he probably has never had a girl as cute as her. Wow. Those who are single, would you consider settling with someone as a survival tactic? No. Man, you should not be doing this to this guy. You don't feel it for him. Yet you're holding on to him because he's probably the best guy you're going to get that would settle with you. Probably even from a physical standpoint, man. He's probably really not that unattractive. He's probably an average, okay-looking guy. He's just probably not the hot Chad or Tyrone you want, right? Jesus Christ. I'm a single female with an average income. That doesn't matter about that, ma'am. It matters. Okay, are you physically attractive? Do you have a great personality? Right? I've been taking care of myself for 10 years. Times are scary right now. So, ma'am, you in essence are admitting that you are seeking the beta mon provider, or you're settling for the beta mon provider, which is what I'm trying to say. You're settling for the beta mon because you can't do it on your own, right? Can't do it on your own, huh? Yet you've been indoctrinated, into a system where your counterparts, right, your sisterhood is saying, ladies, we don't need a man for anything. But right now, ma'am, you're saying times are scary. You have an average income, and it would be nice to have a combined income with a man that I could have a life with. But the guys that you are attracted to, they don't want to give you the time of day, man. Yet you're not in love with the guy you've been with for a year and a half, and you're leading him on because you feel scared to let him go. It's gonna affect you financially. He's providing. He's the beta mon provider. Beta mon. Beta mon. Man behind the scenes, if you're watching, is this guy a total beta mon? Is she taking advantage of him? Tell me yes. I'm seriously debating if I want to give up my dream of the one for stability, security, and comfort. This is the funny shit about women nowadays. Listen to this, what she's saying. I'm seriously debating if I want to give up my dream of the one for stability, security, and comfort. Ma'am, this is a pretty decent, good guy here. It's probably too nice of a guy, which is why you don't respect him, right? This guy is a good guy. He's faithful. He's loyal. He's a good provider, right? But you're probably not physically attracted to him. Ma'am, when you say give up your dream of the one, are you dreaming of actually trying to convince a Chad or Tyrone to, get married to you and provide for you and give you babies? Is the one considered a Chad to you, ma'am? Are you a Chad chaser? Look at this, right? This is what all these women are going through right here nowadays. They're like, there aren't any good men left. I saw this video earlier on the Strong Successful Male channel. I may even do this story myself. He said there was a woman over the course of a year swiped on 10,000 profiles. Now, those 10,000 profiles, she had 25 conversations, and out of those 25 conversations, she met, I think, 5 guys, and out of those 5 guys, none of them went on a second date with her. So there are some women, I mentioned on the stream earlier that I did, there are a bunch of women out there that are very, very unreasonably picky. And these are the women, like this woman here, that you have to avoid. If I was this guy, I would get out. But he just doesn't even understand what's going on. So, sorry, I had to get back to a text message here real quick. I think the lady behind the scenes must have fallen asleep or something. That's no problem. It's all good. We can talk tomorrow. No big deal. Let's see here. I never thought I'd be here. Does anyone else feel the same? Edit. He is aware of all this. He's also not in love with me, but enjoys my company. We've had these conversations openly. Oh, okay. Then you both really need to leave each other, because this is called a codependent relationship. Listen to that last line there. He is aware of all this. He's also not in love with me, but enjoys my company. We've had these conversations openly. You don't know what I think? I think you two are a match made in heaven. You both fear commitment, but you want it. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to settle because you both think there's somebody better out there. but you've been together for a year and a half. You talk about this openly without arguing. I think you should get over it. I think, you two should get married. I think you should, try to get pregnant as soon as possible and have a wife. This is ridiculous. You're talking about this openly and he feels the same way as you? I hope this doesn't sound harsh. How do you date someone for a year and a half who you're not in love with? Right! Big round of applause for that! Big round of applause! How do you date someone for a year and a half that you're not in love with? I could see a couple, 2-3 months, but after 3 months, feelings start to really, really creep up. I think they both have feelings for each other. They're just scared of getting hurt, or they're scared that, if they commit to each other, that someone better will come along. Wow. Maybe it's just me, but I can't conceptualize that. Neither can I. But people are people. And it doesn't seem fair to him if he thinks you do. But you missed the last line she wrote. She says, at least that's what she says, that he's aware of all this and he's not in love with her either, but enjoys her company. We've had these conversations openly. Okay. Sounds a bit selfish to me, stringing a person that long and have no love for them, but keep them for the convenience. That's what I think she's doing. I think this woman is actually lying about talking about this openly with them, because she did put that as an edit in there. But who knows? It could be true. If it is true, then it's a codependent relationship, and that's not healthy. Either that, or they both really are into each other, but they're just not committing to each other because they're both thinking they can do better, right? Wow. Yep, all of the eyes make me think it's all about her. Maybe he's settling for her. Maybe they're settling for each other. If they're both settling for each other, then maybe it was meant to be. You ever thought about that? I think these two sound like a match made in heaven. It's just that they're in their early 30s. They're in a new modern dating world where there are too many options. And she's having her friends whisper in her ear. He's having his guys, telling him, dude, don't do it, right? There's a lot of peer pressure happening here. What it looks like to me, with all my experience, and I have a lot of it, is that these two are a match made in heaven. Just get it over with and take the next step. Get married, have some kids. Nobody would stay together a year and a half if they weren't into each other. This is a bunch of crap to me. It took me a few years to be fully in it with the nicest guy I dated. When you say nicest guy, do you mean nice guy or a good guy that's a man that you respect that's also a nice person, a good person? I fell deeply in love with him, but it took a few years to fully trust. Well, then you have unresolved issues from the past, and you should never put yourself back out there until you were in a good enough place and open emotionally for something new. That's your fault. Sadly, shit hit the fan once all my defenses were down. I just knew he treated me so well, and I had to emotional comparability with him. Ma'am, that doesn't make any sense. You had emotional compatibility with him? Is that what you're saying? I loved him. I wasn't necessarily in love with him, but I saw it as a possibility, and I slowly got there. Well, it is possible for that to happen, but it's rare. But this is what I'm seeing a lot nowadays. I love the person I'm with. I'm just not in love with them. If you're not in love with them, then why are you with them for so long? Nobody dates someone longer than 3 to 6 months if they're not fully in love with them. You folks have been with these people for years, and you act like you're roommates. Wow, this new dating culture in the modern world is just ridiculous. Maybe they feel the same way. Possibly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Unimaginable to me. People in dire situations, an example, need partner to survive, or assholes. Normal people don't pull that shit. Well, yeah, that's called codependency. Some people weren't dealt a good hand. Some people, don't make a lot of money and can't afford to live on their own. And some areas are more expensive to live in, and they don't want to move. I mean, you're 34 in New York City, one of the most expensive places to live in, next to the San Francisco Bay Area where I live. You can love someone deeply, but it is more a companionate. The words you kids are using, friendly love than a romantic in love with someone. Most relationships until recently were built solely on the first type of love, so it doesn't seem that strange to me. Most relationships until recently were built solely on the first type of love. A friendly love? Here's the thing. It's never going to work with someone if you don't feel a large rush or spark of sexual attraction the moment that you lay eyes on them. If you don't feel that from the very beginning, first 3 seconds you're with them, at least within the first 5-10 minutes, there's nothing, bringing you too close together, it's never going to be right. That's the secret, folks. That's why, before I met the woman I was with, right, I went on a lot of dates and none of that happened. And if that wasn't going to happen, then it was never going to happen. So I just, would quickly eliminate women I was going on dates with if they didn't feel that way, or if I didn't feel that way about them, or if we both didn't feel that way about each other when we met. But when the woman and I that are together now first met, it was an instant thing, and we're doing great. Yeah, she probably definitely fell asleep because, or else she would have responded. That's okay. Not a big deal. We could talk tomorrow. Let's see. As a dude, I have no desire whatsoever for the first kind of love and would break it with a girl if I found out that's how she felt about me. Okay? I feel the same. If it is not everything, I don't want any of it. I agree. It's either going to be all there or not there at all. That's the way you guys need to look at it. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. Yeah. Why are you guys and gals just hanging on to someone when it's not really there? This codependency thing has become much more common in the modern world. No disrespect. I'm happy that women have equal rights and they've been liberated, but that's messed up the dating world because of it. Wow. I guess some people feel differently when the goal is having kids. If you don't have or want kids and you don't need a partner for financial reasons, there's nothing left to aim for but a truly awesome physical and mental romantic connection. Well, that's what it should be all about, right? It should be about an awesome physical and mental romantic connection and emotionally romantic connection. Mental, emotional, and physical. Okay? It shouldn't be based on money, period. But here's the thing. You, the man and the woman, need to be in a reasonably decent good financial situation, which is what I'm trying to say. Okay? And that doesn't mean that both the man and the woman need to make equal money, but they both should be working and striving to do the best they can with what they got and striving to get better. All right. On the contrary, I think it would be easier to settle if I didn't want kids, but my kids will inherit some of my partner's genetics, attitudes, behaviors. Knowing that makes it very hard to compromise. Well, wow. I don't know what to say about that. Well, you either need to, finally decide to settle with someone that you feel is going to be a great husband and father, right? And have a family, or be miserable alone the rest of your life. The Chads and Tyrones that you want are not going to give you what you want. One more here. Preach, but when I hold out for that, I am called picky. Well, everybody's picky to a certain extent, and some people are unreasonably picky. You're probably another one of those women like the one in this posting that basically is trying to lock down a Chad or Tyrone. You want to get a 9 or a 10 guy. You won't settle for a 7 or an 8, which is still reasonably attractive and probably a better fit for you to be a better guy and not use you just for sex. You ladies all want the Chads and Tyrones. That's what it is. That's what you want. That's why we call you picky, right? You're not open to dating anyone below a 9 on the physical attraction scale, and that is pretty picky. That's unreasonably picky. Now, no one's telling you to date a 5, 4, or 3, but there are some guys that are 7s and 8s that are still very good looking and would give you the world and would support you. But you ladies want the 9s and 10s, the Chads and Tyrones. And any woman that just wants the Chads and Tyrones and considers, settling for someone, anything below that, then you are picky. Unreasonably picky. I don't need anyone, but I would like a companion. Man, there are a lot of guys that are decent looking and good guys that are a 7 or an 8 that would give you all that. But you're sitting here saying you can't find that, right? And not just any companion, the perfect companion for me. Right, the Chad, right? Why don't you just say, ma'am, you want the Chad or the Tyrone? You're a Chad chaser. 100% agree. If I found out someone publicly acknowledged they weren't in love with me after dating for 18 months, I'd question the whole point of the relationship. Seems a lot like a Jerry Maguire pity relationship than anything else. Big round of applause for that! I agree. I completely agree. Wow. 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 Chat chasers. I got to start like a Facebook group and call it Chat Chasers Anonymous. Man, these women nowadays. Oh man. Ha. I know. I thought that movie was full of shit. He spends the whole movie acting as if he can barely stand her, but he likes the kid, and then at the end, it's all, you complete me. And then she says, you had me at hello. Yeah, that is the worst line in history. Guys, do not ever, 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 ever tell any woman you're with at any point in their relationship, even 10 years down the road, you're still with her. Do not ever say the cheesiest line from Jerry Maguire. You complete me. That is the most beta, pathetic, desperate, weak, needy, and insecure move you will ever make. That is the most insecure, weak, needy, and desperate thing you can ever say to a woman. Because men do not need a woman to complete them. Men come complete. Women now are supposed to come complete as well. And together you share each other's completeness together. Thank you to Coach Corey Wayne for sharing that line many years ago when I first heard it. Please, we are not that stupid. You would have to autistic level of emotional intelligence to buy that. Sorry. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, if you have platonic love for someone, you shouldn't be dating them. I agree. Big round of applause, and then we're going to the last one. I could not have said that any better myself. Yeah, if you have platonic love for someone, you shouldn't be dating them. Couldn't have said it better myself. How are you having sex with Mr. Friendly Love? Pretend there's someone else. Oh, that's great. Well, it's not, but it's just funny. It's funny as hell. All right, let's get to the last one here. We are at 1 hour and 51 minutes here. Oh, man. This is from the subreddit Ask Men. And the original poster writes, how would your wife /GF feel about a guy's night out? How would your wife /GF feel about a guy's night out? Like a girl's night out, but opposite, just the lads. And when he says lads, he's talking about guys. He's probably from like England or the UK or somewhere where they call guys lads. That just doesn't sound right. It sounds like ladies. But a couple of pints and some chat. I had one recently with my friends. There were 6 of us. 3 of the SOs were cool. What are SOs? And even encouraging. 2 didn't really like the idea. Are you talking about significant others when you say SOs? Were cool and even encouraging. 2 didn't really like the idea at all. It's probably significant others didn't like this. That it was a guy's night out. The last one, my friend said, but you have a girls' night, why can't I have a guy's night? That's a very reasonable question. If the girls are going to have their girls' night, you should have your guys' night. But see, I don't date women that feel the need to have girls' nights all the time. They have them once in a great while. And same with myself. I have guys' nights once in a great while. It's not, when you get to a certain age, especially now in my 40s, but even like in your 30s, and you're settling down, you got to prioritize your relationship. And if you get married, you got to prioritize your marriage and your family. I mean, that's just the way it should be. She said, fuck you, and hung up. Well, that's nice of her to say. Quite the array of reactions. So how would your lady react? Well, I'll tell you, my lady would support me. My lady plays darts every week with a group of guy friends and girlfriends. I trust her. I'm not worried about it. If I wanted to have more guys' nights out, she'd be cool with it. I just honestly, I prefer to focus most of my time when I'm not with her on my business and my family, my immediate family. And then occasionally when I'm up to it, I'll hang out with my friends. But I don't feel the need to have guys' nights out getting drunk and talking smack. See, these guys' nights out and girls' nights out, it's an excuse to get away from your partner because you really aren't into your partner. If you're really into somebody you're dating, you're going to want to spend most of your free time with them. That's my honest thought. I'd worry for the last guy. My wife encourages me to go on trips with my 3 best guy friends pretty much every year. I work from home, so I'm home 95% of the time and do not get to socialize enough in person with anyone. She already knows I find bars pretty boring, so she isn't too concerned with where I'll end up. Well, you see, if you're home all the time, that's the problem there. If you're home all the time, you work from home, and you're the breadwinner, and your wife isn't working and she's home taking care of the kids, that gives you and your wife no time away from each other. You gotta have some time away from each other every single, not every single day, but at least 4 to 5 days a week. Okay, that's what work is for too, right? So if you work from home and your wife's home 100% of the time, and you see her all day, every day, in between working your job, that's why she's encouraging you to go on trips, because she wants a little space from you, and you need a little space from her. And it's not that you don't love each other, right? But you gotta have some space from your partner 4 to 5 times per week, for parts of the day. You sleep in the same bed every night, but 4 to 5 days out of the week, you got to do your own thing during the day. She has to do her thing. And then at night, you have dinner and you sleep in the same bed. And then the 2 days off each week, you spend the whole day together and do stuff together, right? Or maybe, go hang out with friends as a couple, right? And every so often, you take a week or 2 vacation and you can vacation together. But if you're spending all day, every day together, even when working, that's too much. You need some space. It's healthy. It makes the heart grow fonder. LOL. Sounds like she wants some alone time too. Amen. I just did the same thing in different words. Big round of applause. Well, he's home all the time. She has no room to breathe. He has no room to breathe. right? Now, maybe she's trying to get rid of him to hook up with Chad, but I mean, we don't know. Probably not, but you can't ever rule it out. But yeah, she just probably would like to have a little space every now and then. Not because she doesn't love him or doesn't want to be with him, because that's a natural thing. People need space, even if they're truly in love with each other. They need space at times. 100% both need that. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want to roam around the house like an animal with no worries in the world? However, you interpret that, it is needed. Everyone needs some alone time. F here. Amen! Big round of applause. I love it when I hit the nail on the head and then the crowd in the comments section agrees. Big round of applause. And we're going to read one more and just wrap it up because we are at 1 hour and 57 minutes right now. The last guy with the fuck you from his old lady may have some history. My wife would be like, have fun to me, but if I was her ex, she'd probably say, fuck you. Her ex cheated on her all the time. Well, I don't cheat on her at all. Big difference. You're right. Big difference. Big difference. All right, folks. All right, let's go back to full screen and wrap this up. That was another episode of Crazy Dating Stories, Volume 3 there. Another crazy dating story. I can't even talk. Another Crazy Dating Stories live stream will be happening soon. I do have a new venture I've been working on where I'm doing a lot of these stories as individual videos elsewhere from this channel. I haven't released that publicly yet. That will be coming very soon. I just had a lot going on this channel here and putting out a lot of pre-recorded content, doing Walking with Purpose live streams almost daily, and now today I gave you folks another stream. Folks, I am cranking out content left and right because I want to help as many men and women, regardless of their age, their race, their sexual orientation or whatever. I want to help as many of you as possible accomplish whatever it is that your heart's desire. That's what I want to do here. So please like this video, share it out, subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications, and I will see you next time. Take care. Good night. Bye. Bye.